It's 9:38 at night, 9:39 now. I'm at a Motel 6. I've been up since 5 a.m. Why am I up so late when I really should be getting a good night's sleep? Because we have a client in California that's going through a pre-approval inspection. They need to make sure they're prepared for that inspection. So they hired me to come out there and do a mock FDA inspection of their facility and their suppliers. But that's not going to be enough. They need the best possible preparation so they do well and get their PMA approved. So I'm doing a webinar on the 26th of July, Monday, the 26th at noon, on how to prepare for an FDA inspection. And I've done one before, so I could have used old material, but I wanted to make sure they had the best possible training for that. So not only the quality manager, but everybody else on the team knows what to do to prepare for that FDA inspector, how to handle themselves before, during, and after the FDA inspector is there, and same thing with a supplier. I also wanted to make sure they had a work instruction that they could use for that FDA inspection, so they would know how to conduct themselves during an FDA inspection. So I went out there and I said, what are the questions that people forget to ask? What things do they forget to prepare that I've seen them make these same mistakes over and over again? So I came up with 15 different questions you could use in a checklist. Say, did you think of this? And how should you handle this? And then I wrote a blog, a paragraph about each and every one of those items. And then I converted that to a work instruction. Here's what's covered in this. Number one, what should you ask the FDA inspector when they call you on Friday afternoon before they're going to show up on Monday? Instead of just having your jaw hit the floor, not knowing what to say other than, oh no, what should you ask that inspector before they hang up on you and before they show up on Monday? What can you learn out of them before they hang up? Number two, who's your backup? If you're on vacation this week, who's going to answer that phone? And will they know what to ask? Number three, now that the FDA is called, how are you going to communicate that you have an FDA inspection on Monday? You don't want to drive panic in everybody, but you want them to know. It's important they know this is going to happen. How do you prepare them? How do you communicate that? Number four, who's going to greet the FDA inspection? Do they know what they're supposed to do? Which room are you going to put the FDA inspector in? This is not the Thunderdome where you have 2 men enter and 1 man leaves. You need to know who needs to be in that room. How are you going to track the request from the FDA inspector for documents and records? How are you going to retrieve the documents and records? How are you going to make copies? What are you going to do with the originals? Should the originals come in the room or not? Do you have a tour plan? Do you have a tour route already lined out? Does everybody in the company know what that tour is? Can somebody else do that tour, or are you the only person that knows the tour route for the guide, for guiding the FDA around your facility? Have you even thought about a tour? How are you going to respond to any issues that are identified during the inspection? If they identify something that's wrong, should you argue with them? Should you debate it? Should you agree? What should you do? Should you prepare lunches? Should you offer to give the inspector lunch? Who's going to be at the closing meeting? And what if your boss isn't available for the time the FDA inspector wants to do the 483 inspection observation, wants to give that to you? Should you promise to correct the issues that are identified in the 483 inspection observations? How and when do you have to respond to the 483s? What is the format of that? Is it a memo? Is it a CAPA plan? What is it? If you're outside the US, how should all the things that I tell you to do in the work instruction be modified for a company that's outside the US? You do everything the same, or there's some important differences that you need to know. So if you don't know the answer to all these questions, trust me, attend this webinar, July 26th at noon. Trust me, you will learn so much about preparing for the FDA inspections, whether you have a pre-approval inspection or it's a routine inspection for a level 2 device. You will get a ton out of this. You'll have a work instruction that you can give your employees. They can sign a training record and you give them a video to watch. You can even share the video with your supplier, so they're prepared too when you have a pre-approval inspection. So if you're interested, click on the link below. And I'll see you on July 26th.